Good morning, everybody. Here we are in the headquarters of Walt Ltd with this beautiful day to present you the percussion drilling set system. I'm Monsieur Puy, the director of the Spanish office, and I will assist the installation that you will see in a few moments. With me there are David.
Yep, good morning. So I'm David Van Walt. I'm one of the directors here at Walt Ltd. I'm also one of the trainers for the percussion drilling set. So I'll be here today assisting with the drilling, talking you through what the bits and pieces do, how we use the kit, and also some aspects around the health and safety to do the job safely.
And also Iki.
Hello, my name's Iki. I'm head of sales, and the window sampling set, also called percussion drilling set, is one of my favourite bits of kit. So I will be showing you what each component does and also taking part in the training.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about health and safety before we start with the demonstration. First part of health and safety is PPE. So there's some mandatory PPE that you do need to have when operating this kit. Steel cap toe boots are an absolute essential. The hard hat again is essential, and also gloves are essential when operating this equipment. There are some things like high vis and goggles. They are dependent on the site location that you're on. In this case here, we're in an area where there is limited traffic. So we're just using some basic high vis, and in the work that we're going to do today, goggles will not be essential. In terms of the risk of the equipment, very important to note, this, although is a lightweight set, there are some heavy components within it. The drill weighs just short of 25 kilograms. It is absolutely essential that it's a two-man operation. There is a significant risk to straining your back if you lift in the inappropriate fashion. So work as a team always impairs when operating the drill. Be careful of any sharp points. The gouges and the cutting heads can be particularly sharp, so again wear your gloves and be careful of those edges, and also be careful of trapping your fingers in any moving parts. So always use handles where they are supplied with the equipment. The third piece on health and safety is just the indirect aspects of the ecological risks in and around us. Be aware of your surroundings. We happen to be in the middle of the farmland. There are no farm animals here today, but again, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of people. The drill will produce some noise, so advise people that there will be noise. Look at the ecological risks to any animals, any wildlife, birds, etc., that may be disturbed in the process of the drilling, and again also be aware of fuel and oils, so make sure you've got appropriate cleaning materials and fuel away from the site if you need to. The final part I just want to cover under the health and safety is the location where you will be drilling. So it is essential, first of all, to have the permission to do the work to start with, and second, it is essential to understand what is below the ground, what services are in the area, fibres, gas, electrical. It is essential that a survey is done prior to any work commencing, so that we do not damage any infrastructure under the ground.
This is a lightweight percussion drilling system in a GS connection, very popular and widely used by for people who do subsidence works, drainage works, mineral explorations and archaeological research. I'm going to talk you through what each component does and the benefits of it. And I've got my wonderful assistant here, Davs, who will be passing me the equipment. Davs, shall we start by looking at the 1/2 metre percussion gouge? It's important that any set you purchase, you have one of these, and you need to start off with this 1/2 metre gouge so that you're working at a sensible working height. So Davs will show me. So here we have the 75mm diameter 1/2 metre gouge. We usually work in 1 metres, but to work at a sensible working height, we need to start off with a 1/2 metre gouge. They also come with replaceable cutting shoes, and core catchers as well. I'll talk you through what diameters we offer as well. So we also have the 80mm diameter, 60mm diameter, 50mm diameter, and the 40mm diameter, all in 1 metre length. In some cases, there's a necessity to take samples back to the lab. We have a windowless sampler where the sample is captured within a liner. There are plenty of other components to the set, but it'll be easier to show you once we get the set in operation.
So I just want to talk to you a little bit about the drill before we start. There are many different types of drill available. There are electric drills, combustion drills, hydraulic drills. Our preferred choice and our recommendation is this petrol-powered drill. We've sold multiple units of this drill. It's very easy to maintain and to operate. A little bit about the drill. So this one uses air compression. It runs on a straight unleaded with oil mixture. Important to ensure that you have the right striking pin to the drill. So we will offer the set with multiple connections to enable you to adapt to your drill of choice. But it's also key to ensure that the drill is appropriate to the equipment that we're using here. So this is a lightweight drilling rig, therefore we should be doing a maximum of 40 joules of energy into the system. Anything further than that and you risk breaking components. So whilst the choice of drill is open, we do need to operate within the limits of the equipment. Okay, we're ready to start now with our first 50 centimeters. So we'll take the 50 centimeter gouge and the striking pin. We've marked our location for where we are going to drill. We know that the area is safe and we know that there's nothing below the ground, so we are in a safe position to drill. First step in the process is to attach the striking pin to the top of the gouge on the thread. Again, just hand tight here is perfectly sufficient, but we do need to get a nice clean connection. When we actually start the drilling, what we will do is we'll do a very small 90-degree clockwise rotation just to ensure that that joint is kept nice and tight. What we don't want it to do is loosen. If it's loose, you risk potential damage as you start striking on the threads. So we've got a nice clean connection there. We're ready to go. So next thing is to start the drill. We'll get the drill on top and then we will drill the first 50 centimeters. So I'll take this, and then if you want to lift the drill, get it started.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, so Monster, if you just want to take this side, and it's all good to go. Okay, so guys, if you can just lift the drill off. Important to keep a nice clean working area, so we put things away where we can find them. Also with components like the striking pin, which we'll remove now, put it back somewhere where you can find it. You don't want to trip over it, or you don't want to lose it in any long grass. So keep a nice clean working area. As you can see here, Monty's able to undo this using just hand strength, because we do not over tighten it with the rotation. Okay, on to the extraction then. So first thing we need is the first extraction mechanism, and that goes over the top of the gouge. Now, because this is the first gouge in the ground, the ball clamp needs something to clamp onto. So what we're going to use is an extension rod, which we will use so we can screw that straight onto the top, and then we can use the extension plate here to okay, so that goes over the top, and then the ball clamp will just slide over the top of the rod like so, and then we take the levers one at a time, ensure that you are coordinated and you work together in a nice controlled mechanism. So just in a nice controlled mechanism, working together, we lift the gouge out of the ground. Okay, one more. Okay, so you can see now that the gouge is moving up and down, so we fully extracted it. So bring both pipes up together and both remove your lever at the same time. And I'll hold in the middle to ensure that it doesn't topple over. So if you pull, okay, and then we can just remove between us. Okay, I'm just going to remove the extension rod. Okay, again, nice tidy working environment. Okay, so in conditions where it's wet or clayey, there can be quite a lot of suction on the gouge, so there could be some resistance in removing this gouge or any subsequent ones that you use. Ensure you don't hurt your back. If you need to use two people, use two people. If you need to use any of the Stillson tools to help you get the gouge out of the ground, do so, but ensure that you do not hurt yourself. So here we are, here's our first 50 centimeters. We have a nice 50 centimeter profile for the first gouge. Okay, so from this point forward, we can continue to sample in the same mechanism using the 1 meter gouges in a stepwise fashion in reducing sizes to go further to a further and greater depths in exactly the same principle that we've just done using the extension rods, the striking pin and the hammer. If you get to an interesting horizon or there's a requirement to take a sample back to a lab, for example, we can use the liner sample, and that is what we are going to do now. So we're going to take a 1 meter liner sample within the hole that we've just drilled, and we'll show you how to do that now. So equipment that we require, the first thing here is we have the liner sample barrel. So if I can give that to one of you. So first thing to do is to attach the striking pin onto the top there. So again, just hand tight, make sure we get a nice clean connection between the two units. Okay, so nice and tight, and then if you turn that upside down, and then we can insert the liner, which we're going to take our sample into the tube. Again, when you're doing this in the field, make sure that it's nice and clean. Any mud or dirt can cause the liner to get increases friction within the barrel, and it can make it a little bit more difficult to get out. So let's make sure that everything is nice and tight and we're happy with it, and then we can insert that into the hole that we've drilled. Of course, if you're at far greater depths, you need to make sure that you've got your extension rods in place as well. You don't hurt yourself with your back, but what you do not want to do is drop this into the hole, which will cause you some challenges in retrieving it. So we're good to go. So what we require now is the striking pin. Okay, so using the same lifting process as before, we've now extracted the liner sampler to this position. So again, exactly the same as before. Be careful with your back. Use two people if you need to. Use tools if you need to extract the liner sampler the last of the way out. We've extracted the liner sampler now. So to remove the liner, so we remove the top. Now if this is tight, you might need to use the Stilsons just to open it up again. So we remove the top, and then we proceed to do the same with the bottom. Again, if it's too tight, you might need the Stilsons. Now you can use this with a core catcher for loose soils, but in this case we're in clays, so it's unlikely we're going to lose any of the sample. And then once that is removed, you can remove the liner sampler. Now really important here is to note what's top and bottom whilst you still know what's top and bottom in the sample. So just with a Sharpie we can just mark the top of the soil and the bottom of the soil, and also you can write on there the depth where the sample was taken from, so that you don't confuse it. If for whatever reason the liner doesn't come out smoothly, you can use a second liner just to pop it in from the top and move it out, and then we will have the yellow caps that are available just to cap the top and the bottom. And here we have a perfect sample of 50 centimeters through to 1.50 meters under the ground here, which we can cap off and take back to our lab or our office for further analysis or storage as required.
That concludes the demo of the set. The set is extremely flexible and we do tailor the set to your specific requirements. Please remember, it's extremely important that you take us up on the free training. We've done this all over the world and we have 3 very experienced trainers within the company who have 40 years experience between them. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you very much.